and Colson, they are bashing, they are mashing. They've homered in the same game 7 times already. We're in the first week of May. That is the most by any teammates in the first 35 games in Major League history. Shout out to Sarah Langs for that stat. They seem to be feeding off each other, or do you think it's just a coincidence they're both hot at the same time? What's going on?
I don't know. It can be both. You know, I mean, you got to ask them and say how they feel about it. If they look for something, okay, I got to look for this. And the guy say, hey, he throw me this. Sometimes I laugh when the guys come off hitting, and the guys say, they go, what do you have? What? You go there and find out. But I think those two guys, they, you know what I mean, one got power. Mm-hmm. One guy is a home run hitter. Corson he got power, but he don't put himself to be a home run hitter. But Murakami, he got power. He gonna hit more home runs, Chuck. He gonna be, you know what I mean? I will keep saying this. And the summer come, all those ballparks in American League Central, they shrink.
Yes, they do.
This guy can be very, very dangerous.
So one thing we have not talked about, and just kind of popped in my head just now, remember after Tony left, the Sox had been searching and searching and searching for left-handed power everywhere, where there was Adam Dunn, there was Adam LaRoche, and they would bring guys through. Even in the last era, all those guys were righty. Abreu, Jimenez, you did have a switch hitter in Moncada, but the Sox have not had the lefty power like they really needed to, because there's so many righties and righty pitchers in this game. Now you got 2 guys like that who could be cornerstones, left-handed power hitters.
I remember the White Sox killer against lefty. Why? They had so many good right-handed hitters in the lineup.
Oh, right.
They kill lefty. All of a sudden they go to face righty.
And there's so many righty.
They got so many problems with the sliders away. Yeah. But now you got those guys back-to-back. Murakami, you know, I mean, right now after, you know, Corson learning how to hit those guys, and he's have been great this year, lefty against lefty, you know me.
Yeah.
He got a good at-bat against him. Murakami, you know, change his approach at the plate when they see lefty. Is I missed it? I missed it. I struck out, but I got you. It's going to be a long one. And that's why little by little, they got better left-handed hitters.
All right, well, Murakami keeps making history. How about this? I mean, it seems like every day we got something new on Murakami. He's only the 5th player in Major League history to have 13 or more home runs and 27 or more walks in the first 32 games. The other 4 are these guys. Babe Ruth, he did it twice. Mark McGwire, Albert Pujols, Jim Thome. I mean, this is Hall of Fame stuff. Now, granted, yeah, he just started. But my question for you is this sustainable? Can Mooney be this hitter? Like, not just here in April and the first part of May. Could this be who he is?
I think so.
You do?
Yes, I think so. Why? Because his swing. Listen, for one reason, people here in the States say, oh, it's a different baseball. He come from Japan. You never see a good hitter. You never see a good pitcher. Listen, he's not from Jerusalem. He played baseball in good one.
Yeah.
He's no Haiti kid. You know what I mean? This guy.
He's not from Haiti?
He's not from Haiti. He's not from my hometown in Venezuela. This guy has been facing a good pitching back in his country. Like I say, and I keep saying every day, people, we're talking about that because when you're in the Japanese team and with the All-Star team coming to the Cup,
yeah,
you are somebody. They don't put you like, hey, Joe, come here. Can you go with us, represent Japan in the Classic? No, you got to earn it. And this guy, he just came from there. People forgot. This man came from there. And I truly believe he got to face, he never faced a good pitching. Okay, I wonder, can somebody send me, can somebody send a Twitter to Chuck and say, give me a good pitcher's name in right now in the United States? Well, I bet you it's like maybe 10.
Well, when he homers off of Michael King here today, you can add that to the list.
Yes.
Well, last night, Colson and Mooney had this special handshake greeting in the dugout. So what is the story behind it? Brooke Fletcher picks up the story from there. She's in San Diego with more.
All right, thanks, guys. Colson Montgomery and Munetaka Murakami have now homered in the same games 7 times already this season. And it's not just the production, it's the leadership that he's showing off the field. He actually took Colson and some of his other teammates to sushi on their off day. And Colson said it was a great experience, so much that they even formed a little handshake in the dugout. We saw it in the game last night. So, of course, I had to ask Colson about it. And here's what he had to say.
Well, we went to dinner last night and we ate a lot of sushi, so it's something with sushi. I didn't get the full scoop. He was trying to do it to me too fast.
まあ昨日一緒にお寿司食べに行ったんで、
We went out for sushi last night as a dinner, so we had a little sushi celebration going on. So I hopefully it helped us, get some good results out there.
And Colson was just talking about that's just who Mune is. But going back to just the impact that he's had at the plate and what it does for the guys around him, Colson said it just alleviates the pressure off him, even Vargas. And he said, now I can just go up and focus on like the quality of at-bats. And I understand that the guy behind me or in front of me, they're going to be able to do some damage. And Ozzy, you've been in lineups like this, and what kind of presence a guy like this can bring and how it impacts the approach of everybody else.
Yeah, the Mune effect.
It's funny because I think everybody's, got to pick. No, you know why? Because you know how to say, I had to do this. I had to get, now you put pressure on yourself. I can call me bases loaded. If I not do it, the guy behind me not going to do it. You know what I mean? All of a sudden you do stuff you're not supposed to do. But when you have teammates who can help in any team, in any situation, they take the heat away from any player.
That we don't expect a whole heck of a lot from. Remember, the last 3 seasons, in each of those, they've lost at least 100 ball games. But you wouldn't necessarily know it by what we saw last night. They're a little tougher than I anticipated.
Look, they can swing the bats, and specifically what they can do is they can hit home runs. Now, this was a home run that we saw last night by Murakami. Hanging, breaking ball. Look, quite frankly, a major league hitter is supposed to hit that one. And the next home run that we're going to see, also watch this, this is a hanging changeup up in the zone. So, look, I'm not taking any credit away from hitters taking advantage of pitchers' mistakes. That's what they are supposed to do. And to the White Sox credit, they've done a great job with it so far this season. In fact, they've got the highest percentage of their runs scored on the long ball so far this season, Mike. They've made the most of their opportunities. They have 3 grand slams. That's the most in Major League Baseball. They're at the top of the list of 3-run home runs as well. So with guys on base, they've made the most of the long ball. I don't know if it's sustainable, especially when you're looking at the pitches that they've been taking advantage of, which are those mistake pitches in the zone. I think opposing pitchers are going to figure out, look, I can throw breaking balls, but I better be really careful with off-speed pitch in the zone. That's the pitch that they really feast on.
You know what's interesting to me, too? Usually that's a concern when we talk about contenders. Can they sustain it? Will it matter come postseason? But this is a team that's still developing and figuring out their identity. Do you think it's possible that they can compartmentalize but not rely on this long term while some of the younger hitters who are left to fill in the blanks develop?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and I think that's possible. And we've seen some guys that can certainly take advantage of those mistakes that we talked about. Then the question becomes those younger hitters that you're talking about. Do they take on that same identity and sort of go all for broke on the long ball, or do they want to develop and be good hitters first that can also hit the long ball? Ideally, that's the perfect scenario. You want good hitters that can also take advantage of mistakes and do it for power. We'll see if they don't get caught up in that, oh, wow, home runs are sexy. Let me try to swing out of my shoes. And the next thing you know, the rest of the league takes advantage of it.
Hey, if you're the White Sox, you just don't want to lose 100. Any way you can, right? Any way you can do it.
We're giving away some hardware. Is it too early? It absolutely is. AL Rookie of the Year. Munetaka Murakami. Kevin McGonigal has reached pace in 25 straight starts. And Parker Messick, your boy, 3-0 with a 1.73.
Give me Parker, you could throw your Savage in there.
You could, because he qualifies as a rookie.
You could throw
but
the water in there.
Of those 3, give me Parker Messick because he's going to fly under the radar because he plays for the Guardians. He's the pitcher.
When you watch him, it's like max effort.
Yeah, and plus the fact that he's going high stirrups, which I love.
Every pitch is max
So give me Parker
effort.
Messick. Why not?
You go. Yeah, well...
He's Googling.
I got to look something up. Look, if I'm not picking McGonigal, I'm going to get a phone call. I know. And I love watching McGonigal play. Like, I mean, he is a baseball player.
Yes, he is.
His at-bats are so advanced for, a young player. And I think, a lot of young players coming up, they're so much more ready for the big stage than even when we were coming up. But, I mean, his at-bats have been awesome, and he's done a great job in the field for A.J. Hinch and the Tigers. But too, if Murakami hits 40 jacks,
if he
hits 50 eyeballs.
Number 1, what were you Googling? Number 2, what is your choice?
I mean, there's a chance McGonigal wins a batting title as a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nays is saying that Murakami and McGonigal basically have the same OPS plus, just the production's different.
I'm going to say McGonigal,
different type of hitter.
but I'm telling you right now, my man on the south side of Chicago is a 3 true outcome hero.
Yeah, he is.
And he's gonna hit 40.
Taka Murakami, we take a look at the StatCast average on his 13 home runs this season.
Unbelievable. The fact that he has averages on his home runs at this point, it's not like a sample size of 2 or 3, it's 13 of them, and he's hitting the ball extremely hard and very high.
Murakami starts things off here for the White Sox as we open up this 8th inning. And then last night in the opener of this series, how about Murakami taking some time to spend some attention and some time with your kids, Gordon?
Yeah, he had just answered 15 minutes of questions, and my kids wanted to give number 5 a high five, and he spent 2 or 3 minutes hanging out with them. Just could not be a nicer guy. You know he's tired. You know he's been dealing with a lot of these questions. It still took time for my kids. It was a great moment for me as a dad, and I learned a lot about him last night.
I think that's what makes him such a special player. We've now seen what he can do on the field, but to also handle all the responsibilities that he has off the field and do it with such grace. He is truly one of the best in the game. To not go around, he wants to challenge, but I believe it was too late, so he's not going to be given it. Strike 3 called. Murakami took a little bit too long to get that challenge in. It would have been a ball, but it was called strike 3.
It's one of those ones where he in the grand scheme of it, he didn't want to challenge and lose it at this moment of the game because it's 4-0 White Sox. I think it's a smart no challenge if you're not sure. If you're sure, go for it, right? He's earned that opportunity, but I think really smart by him to not do that. Now he keeps 2 challenges. Even though he would have won, he still keeps 2 challenges for his catcher and pitcher when they're on the mound.
Notice first thing he does, he goes right to the pad to try to take a look at where that last pitch was to study the at-bat, and he is so good at making changes from at-bat to at-bat.
You might have noticed a new celebration or even handshake between Colson and Mune last night. Looked like they were feeding each other some sushi there in the dugout, so naturally I had to ask them about it. Colson said it actually goes back to their off day when Mune treated them, him and a few guys, to some sushi. And then before the game, Mune came up to him and said, hey, we're going to do this. So, you know, they've already homered in the same game 7 times this season. So at this point, I guess they just need, you know, a little celebration to match it.
Brooke, is it nigiri or sashimi?
I think it's nigiri.
All right.
You can't put me on the spot like that. But Colson did say, he was like, it was a lot of fish, but he said it was cool because, you know, with Mune being Japanese, and there's a huge Japanese culture here in San Diego and on the West Coast, so the fact that he took them to dinner kind of showed him a little bit of what he's into and his culture. He said that was a really cool experience.